Hey guys, so isn't it quite crazy and ironic that we are at the top of our world? We're at the top of the evolutionary pyramid. We are at the top of, intellectually all of that on this planet. But it's crazy that us at the top are the only species that has a problem with going about our lives. Now let's talk about, like, you go outside this building here and you have the ants on the ground, the birds in the sky, the squirrels running around the trees, everything in the world is on the same process we are. It's been born, it's living, it's growing up, it's going through its life, it reproduces, it gets old, it dies. We all do the exact same thing, but all those animals, all those other things, know exactly what needs to be done, and they just do it. They just go about their lives, and they do it with no fuss. They do it with just, it's in their DNA. They just know how to do it. Us as humans have been blessed and cursed in a way to have this mind of ours, where we have complex emotions, we have reasoning skills, and we have overthinking skills, and it's funny. We're at the top, but we have the most problem just getting through this life. And one giant part of that is just being happy. It's just being a happy person. And as I've said before, understand that there's death and misery and stuff that people create. Warlords in the world and just bad people create these situations, and that's very unfortunate. It's a terrible thing if you live in those places. But as a whole, we are the most comfortable and coddled group of people that this world has ever seen. We have so much convenience, and we don't really act like we do. Most of us, again, barring outside influences, we can either have all the things we need to have a happy life, or we can get them. And so, one of the first things that you have to do in becoming a happy person and living a joyful, profound life is being able to let go of a little bit. Like, small things can keep a lot of people in a space where it's just not good for them. Like, I know people who can be driving to work in the morning, and you encounter one of those people that are just shouldn't be behind the wheel of the car, but it is what it is, and it messes their whole day up. They sit there and they think on that little thing so much, and it just messes their entire day up. And then the next day, something else will happen like that, and then the next day, and it's just a constant cycle of letting these small things become giant problems in their life and keeping them unhappy. And that's really unfortunate. That's really not a way to live, because they're small. That person that cuts you off in the car or something like that doesn't deserve your time and attention. That doesn't deserve to put you in a bad mood for the rest of the day. That deserves, that moment that it is, and then I can't do anything about this. Let it go. The rest of your day will be so much better if you just push that out of your mind. If you just push the little things down where they're supposed to be. Very small things. Things that you can leave behind momentarily. Like, it's not worth, those little things aren't worth. And even some of the bigger things. I've had a person in my life do something really bad to me. And for the longest time, I couldn't forgive them. Or even if you don't forgive, I would think about it all the time. I would think, and I would get so mad at the situation. And I realized that person probably doesn't even think about that or anything. But here's me being angered and going through misery on their behest. So it took a long time, but I finally realized that person was making me angry and putting negativity in my life, and they didn't deserve it. They didn't deserve to be able to make me feel this way. They were a small part of my life, and and as a whole, they're a small part of my life, and it's gone. And I was spending so much negativity on them that it's like they were controlling my emotions. And I realized that, and I let it go. I just don't care. I don't like the person now. I don't have any desire to talk to them or anything like that, but I just don't care. I just really don't care anymore. It's not affecting me in my life in the present. It happened in the past and it's gone. You really have to train yourself to think about that. And when I say train yourself, like if a thought process comes up in your head, like you're just driving quiet, and that comes up in your head, I can't believe this happened, but you have to get to a point where you can be like, no, stop. You can tell yourself to stop and be like, this is not what needs to rule my life. This is not worth it. They are not worth it. My happiness is more important than them in this situation. Let it go. So that brings us to things that really make us depressed, really hurt us in our lives. And even a lot of those things can be helped. As long as you're alive and you've got this beautiful gift of life, you can do things to change your situation. You can do things to better your life. Even if you're in abject poverty, which no one wants to be in, but it happens. There's things that you can do. You can reach out for help. You can do all type. You can go back to school. You can try to get a better job. You can do things that create better opportunities for you instead of just wallowing in it. Now, a big part of people's unhappiness is, what is unhappiness? Unhappiness is you having things in your life that you don't think they should be there or be that way. And a lot of things in your life that are like that, you can change. Most things, honestly. You can go and change those things. And you have to put yourself in a mindset where you do change those things. Let's say you're a very, very, very poor person and you're struggling to pay for your help for your kids. A lot of people will do that. They'll get in a job where they're still very poor, very struggling. And that's all they'll focus on is, what am I going to do? How am I going to, instead of doing their job and at the same time looking for a better job, looking for a better opportunity, researching grants, researching everything you can to better your situation, taking that energy that you would have normally taken and just sat there and wallowed in it, take that energy and put it into, how can I change my situation? Are there government programs? Are there community outreach programs? Are there, is there a school I can go to? What kind of grants happens at these schools? What jobs around me can I get that do better? If you made $2 more an hour, that's $160 every 2 weeks. That's not a lot of money, but to someone who's in abject poverty, that's a nice boost. It's about bettering your situation. It's about bettering the things in your life. And you have to get to that mindset where you can let go of these small things, where you can really push yourself to become something better. That's the only way you're going to be happy. And some people may say, oh, you're just pushing them into a job and they're going to be unhappy at that job. Then find what does make you. Get to a job, get to a level where you have a little bit of money extra or something, even if it's just a few dollars extra that you can save. Eventually, over time, that amounts to something big, and you can push yourself into something that you do like. It comes to a point of you have to figure out what truly makes you happy as a person. I'm a car guy. On this channel, you will hear a lot of... Sorry, not get dry. You will hear a lot of car analogies. I know people in the car world that don't belong there. No matter what they drive, they're still never happy with it. And I get always wanting more and more, but there's people there that just want to... It's like they're almost mimicking someone else's happiness. They think if they have the fastest car out there, that's going to make them happy. And they get it, still not happy. Because that's not your happy. You latched onto a group that you thought would make you happy or whatever. And then you did what they did. And here you are, you've got the top and you're still not happy. You got to figure out what makes you truly happy. What makes you really smile down to your soul. You have to figure out the things that are profound to you. Things that are just so good in that moment. Take, for example, I have a little Fiesta ST. It's a jelly bean of a car. It really, that's what we in the community call it, is the jelly bean. But it's a great car, and I don't care what anybody else thinks about it. It's a Fiesta. A lot of people see it and they're like, yeah, that's an economy car. They don't know that the ST has a lot of stuff done to it. It's a really fun car. I don't care that they don't know that. I don't care that someone looks at it and thinks whatever. What I care about, what is so much fun to me and puts a smile on my face, is carving down little back roads, because the thing handles like it's welded to the road. And carving down little back roads and stuff, and just feeling like how insane that little thing grips, and how much fun it is. And that's true happiness to me. I love just taking in life and trying to notice the small things. I try to notice things that I see that make me happy, and I think about them, and that it's a process of just me trying to figure out what makes me happy and what expanding on these things that make me happy. On my way to work, I go through a downtown area, and when I take a right on at this stop sign, and it's kind of vacant lot out in the middle of nowhere, there's a big palm tree. And I live in South Mississippi. So there's no reason that palm trees should be there. They're not native. Someone had to have planted that at some point. Everything's gone around it now. Some brush and all is grown up. But that palm tree's there, and I always love seeing it in the mornings. Now think about it. Who planted that? They must have really liked that tree, and it's a thing that makes me happy. Every morning I see it, I'm like, there's the palm. It's something so small, but it's something that makes me happy. When I drive home, there's a certain road in Petal. Now, I talked about it in the other video, and it goes through these long cotton fields, and it gives a huge, wide open vision of the sky. And it's so pretty every time. Every time I go home, and I truly enjoy going in. I go that way so I can enjoy that scenery. Things like that. I go out of my way to provide for my happiness. that doesn't take any hardly time. It doesn't hardly take any time or anything like that. It's just something that makes me happy, and I try to do it. And that's what you have to do. You have to work towards being happiness, because happiness and misery is all in your head. That, like I said, there's things outside, there's bad people and there's bad situations that you can't control, and that is very unfortunate in this world. But those things are the minority. Most things that make you happy or sad happen in here. No one can make you, unless they're acts of violence or something like that. No one can make you unhappy. You can brush off everything, unless they physically hurt you or something. You can brush off everything. They can make you, their words can make you unhappy, but you don't have to dwell on them. You can delete those out of your head immediately. They don't have to make you unhappy. The only thing that makes you happy and unhappy is you. You have to get in that mindset. It's a great mindset to be in. I wish everybody could find that level. And I'm not sitting here like Sadhguru or, Dalai Lama, just blissed out all the time. I'm a normal guy with a job, and I'm working on it. I'm really working on it, and I'm trying to get better. And that's kind of why I started this channel. I just want people maybe to learn what I'm learning. And it's such a great thing, though, when you do find that happiness. It's such a wonderful thing of being able to feel like that, not letting the little things bother, things that don't matter, things that you can't control. If you let those things control your life, you're going to have a miserable life. And that is the time that is wasted here. We are here for such a short time. Being infinite cosmic beings, we are here for such a short time. And we need that time to be profound and happy, so that it makes a big imprint on the rest of our existence. So we remember this time. We're here for 80, 90 years if we're lucky. And when you're 1,000 years old, wherever you are in the universe, you want that 80 or 90 years to still stick with you and still give you good things. So really, guys, it's all about adopting a mindset of, I know I am going to make myself happy. I'm not going to let other things continue to control me. That's all I got for today. So be peaceful, guys, and love one another.